Pokémon Legends Z-A is the best Pokémon game on the Switch too. Even if the game starts a little slow, it is absolutely worth playing, so here are 16 things you should know for your playthrough. Lumiose City may seem small on the map, but it is actually quite larger than you think. As early as getting the Rock Smash, you can start exploring the rooftops, buy some leathers, and find much rarer Pokémon like Abra before even proceeding to Wild Zone 2. Apart from Pokémon, you will also find items including TMs, which are generally indicated with a yellow Pokéball. If you heard me say Rock Smash, you're probably a bit worried about HM slaves. Even if the game doesn't tell you, you can actually use other moves to break rocks. In my playthrough, I have found that using strong physical moves like Rollout, Iron Hand, and Power Whip also works, and I'm sure there are plenty of other techniques that can work. You will also find brambles that can be burnt with fire moves, starting a route tree, as well as pile of sludges which can be watered down with water type attacks, as well as some psychic type moves like confusion. Towards the start of the game, you'll be informed about scaffolding courses. Whenever you see a purple Pokeball, go for it. These balls contain colorful screws that can be exchanged for canary plushes, which have permanent buffs up to 3 levels each. I definitely recommend the one to increase the catch rate. You can also go for those that earn experience, money, mega shards, or just be more resistant to blackouts when taking damage. These can be exchanged at the construction site towards the south of the map. If you're struggling with some of the scaffolding courses, just make sure you can also use the roll to kind of leap further when jumping down. Sneaking is super valuable. Skittish Pokemon like Pichu and Budew will run away as soon as they detect you. Sneaking allows you to get closer and throw Pokeballs, which have an even higher chance when hitting from the back. You can also use Pokemon moves like Smokescreen to help you stay undetected. Sneaking is also strongly recommended in the battle zones, where you can get a free first hit without cooldown against opponent trainers. Speaking of the battle zone, you can pre-obtain a challenger ticket even if your promotion match hasn't yet been declared. Secondly, you can continue to battle even if you already have the ticket, because the more you win, the more money you will earn. Something not explained by the game itself is that within battles you can actually press X and use items like potions and revives. There is a cooldown of using items, so if you're battling an alpha Pokemon and you're down to 1 Pokemon, you cannot revive all 5 Pokemon at once. Because it is much more challenging, especially compared to Arceus, you definitely should use your items more strategically throughout the fight. As your Pokemon learn more moves, I would definitely recommend that you try these out, because we have a completely new battle system. Most of the moves have an area of effect, some much larger than others. In wild zones where multiple Pokemon are aggroed, using a large area attack can be more useful than a stronger attack with a narrow hitbox. And I say this because I've wiped out 4 Pokemon with 1 hit, so yeah, be strategic. When picking Pokemon for your team, catching alphas can help out because they are naturally stronger. Apart from their huge size, alphas have 3 guaranteed stats at their best values, referring to the IVs, even though you can only see this post-game. Alphas will also have their HP fully EV trained right away, so from the get-go, they are much bulkier than the rest of untrained Pokemon. Interestingly, all Pokemons given by the game, so gift Pokemons, starters, they also have 3 guaranteed best stats, so they might be naturally better than the average Pokemon. From a gameplay perspective, I completely recommend to do side quests as soon as you unlock them. Overall, I did enjoy their pacing, even though there may have been a little too many at the start, but the side quests reward you with very useful items, such as evolution stones and held items like leftovers. You will also encounter starters from Kalos and Kanto regions during these side missions in the early game, so make sure to go through those missions or you'll be missing out on probably some of your favorite Pokemon. And for you fashionistas out there, there are new eye and hair colors that can also be unlocked. Pokémon Legends Z-A has some really good quality of life features. In the move selections of any Pokemon, you can easily swap previously learned moves, but you can also see which TMs can be taught to that Pokemon, making learning moves super easy. Within your Pokemon boxes, you can also search for particular species, known moves, or compatible TMs, but this can become really handy when tackling particular side quests. One of my favorite features in the game is the photo mode. You can make use of it by pressing minus pretty much anywhere, and within the photo mode, press Y to include yourself within the photo, and you can pose and stuff. Even cuter is hanging out on a bench, because this will show all your full team and you can play music, have all your Pokemon engage in a battle or sleeping animation. Throughout the game, you will see a lot of shiny things in the ground. Pick them up and sell them because they are pretty much infinite, and these have mushrooms, feathers, you can also pick up pearls and nuggets, and they have no use except money, so take the money and run. One of the most sought features in Pokémon Z-A is the player customization, and it's good to know that you unlock fashion very early on. And with a total of more than 40 stores, there is a huge variety in clothing items that you can purchase and equip. You can also change your hairstyle at any salon and equip multiple hair colors, making the character customization really neat. Another great use of money is to stock up on special type of balls. Rare Pokemon like Eevee tend to have a much harder catch rate, though it will be pretty impossible to catch them with just a Pokeball. In my experience, Quick Balls, Dusk Balls, and Repeat Balls seem to be working very well, so I definitely like those, and obviously there are some more specific ones like Dive Balls for water types. In case you throw a ball and miss, you can actually go back to Pokemon centers and talk to the guy on the right, and you'll get back all the balls that you've thrown to the floor. As many of you know, the Kalos Megastones are locked behind ranked battles. Now, unless the deadline is very close, I actually recommend to avoid ranked battles because other players will be using Mega Evolutions that you have not yet seen. So if you want to avoid those spoilers, don't go into ranked battles until you finish the game. And my last tip is relating to rogue Mega Battles. The game will recommend that you use Mega Evolutions to fight them, which is truly the best strategy. But what do you do if you don't have accessible Megas that are compatibly strong? Well, in that case, you can actually use the plus button to power up plus moves, which will do significant damage. Most of all, remember to dodge the wild attacks and withdraw your Pokemon during Mega attacks, because surviving is more important than just dealing damage. Those were my tips for the game. It is truly the best Pokemon we've had on the Switch, and I truly hope that you enjoy it just as much as I did. Let me know in the comments what you're most pleased about. I hope to see you around. Bye bye.